always very good reasons to watch our show. 2 very good reasons today, and you've seen her all morning, and she's a lovely lady, and I know we've got loads of questions to ask her from you as well.
Well, she has a 164 XXX chest. She's Chelsea Charms, and she claims that she has the world's biggest breasts, and Chelsea, along with Itsy and Bitsy, join us now. And last, we've been waiting all morning to talk to you, and here you are. If you are to walk through the supermarket today, and you wondered how heavy Chelsea's boobs are, then this is what you do. You get a bag and put in 2 big size watermelons, and that is 1 boob. That's the weight of 1 boob. So,
wow.
So the first question we have to ask you, and it's certainly, since I mentioned you were coming on the show, there are thousands of questions, but the biggest one of all is, doesn't it hurt your back?
No, not yet, thankfully.
You don't feel anything at all? You have to compensate for the weight?
I do a lot of back exercises, and, you know, just take care of my back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the other question that everyone was asking was, why?
Well, I didn't plan on going this big. That was that just happened on its own. But I wanted to be big when I decided in the States that I wanted to be a feature dancer.
That's like an exotic dancer, we call that here. Is that right?
Well, a feature dancer is, layman's terms, a professional exotic dancer. You know, you still got agents and stuff like that, and you make your appearances.
A stripper? Do you take clothes off?
Yeah.
Yeah, OK.
So what size, before you had, because you've had 3 operations, which we'll talk about in a sec, but what size naturally were you by the time you were, say, in your 20s?
Naturally, I was a D. D cup.
D cup, which is a decent size.
Yeah.
Most women would be probably very happy with that. Were you upset? Were you body conscious? Were you not happy with how you looked?
Well, I developed early. I had my D cups all through high school, and during those years I kind of covered up and was self-conscious just about them being big.
Oh, really? Really?
But then it wasn't until out of high school that I learned to appreciate curves and yeah.
Well, you've had 3 operations. Operation 1 was when you were 20 and you went to a double D, and then Operation 2 was a year later because you liked the feeling and you wanted to get a bit bigger. You went up to a double H, and the surgeon exceeded the 1,000 cc's that he could put in each breast and actually put in 2,000 cc's. And then Operation 3, now this is the controversial one. This is a year and a half after Operation 2, when you had these polypropylene string breast implants put in. Now this is a procedure that's banned now, you can't have it anymore.
Yeah, it's not available any longer.
Well, how does that work? Because they're still growing.
Yeah. It's basically a polypropylene cord, it looks like a fettuccine noodle, basically, and it's just wadded up in each breast pocket.
Hang on, is that so they are implants? Sorry about the accents, don't know why I'm doing that. They're implants, but with the string in them.
There's no bag. There's no bag.
Okay.
As far as there's no implanted bag.
So it's just this stringy thing.
Yes.
And what it does is it irritates the breast tissue and makes the breast makes liquid.
Your body,
so you create
pump fluid into your breast pocket.
And so that means that although they're slowing down a little bit, they will continue to get bigger and bigger.
Yes.
How does your skin cope with that?
I think because it's gradually happening that it's able to deal with it. Obviously, if I had this all put in one surgery, there'd be no way. But I think because it's been gradual.
They could enlarge at a different speed. Couldn't you? You could have one bigger than the other.
I've been lucky. They've been working as a team and working together on it.
Can I ask, without sounding too crude, but I know people want to know this, especially girls, what happens to your nipples? Because your nipples on the end, you know, as they're getting bigger and bigger, are they moving? No, but seriously, are they? Where do they go?
Well, they've stretched out. They've become larger. Yeah.
So they don't kind of go down around the side or anything? They're still at the front?
Well, the breast moves kind of towards the side. So, yeah, everything kind of...
But is there not a danger that if that just keeps going and going and going and going, that they pop? You know, it's got to stop. It's got to stop if this thing is creating all this liquid.
Most of the other girls who have had this procedure have stopped at some point. And so I'm just waiting for that to happen.
So how do you, on a day-to-day basis, how does it affect your life? How do you sleep? Is it easy to sleep? You can't obviously
I've gotten
sleep
used
on
to
your
it.
front.
It was an adjustment.
Yeah.
But I sleep on my back or my side.
And what about things like restaurant tables or getting into lifts and stuff like that?
Aeroplanes.
Yeah, aeroplanes.
It's the airplane bathrooms that are tough.
Yes,
they're very
they're
tight.
tiny anyway, aren't they?
Yes, and eating is a problem because I have to sit so far from my food that I do.
What about, like, you don't want to go into a posh china shop or anything, do you? You must swing round
Very
and
careful,
knock
yeah.
something over.
It is in a bar. You got served pretty damn quickly in there, didn't you?
What is the reaction?
What do the guys think?
Yeah.
I guess you have to ask them. I mean, obviously there's guys who are really into it, and obviously it's not for everyone.
Is it difficult for a guy, for you, who you actually really like, and I'm talking about relationship material here, to see beyond your breasts and to see you?
I think, yeah, if you get to a point where you're getting serious, definitely. I mean, a lot of my friends will say they forget that I have them until something happens or something. Oh, yeah, I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I found interesting, and a few people have said today, that I found it quite... You're a lovely, lovely woman, and we've been chatting to you as the morning's gone on. I found it quite hard having kind of just a normal conversation with these things here. So for guys, that must be very hard. Just saying, so how are you, and have you been to London before? And they're kind of here. And even as a woman, you don't want to stare, but they are things that are going to make people stare.
Yeah.
Is that why you've got them? Do you like the fact that people stare and look at all this attention? Here you are out in London.
Yeah, it does
it's
give
like,
me lots
it's
of
like
attention.
You're like a celebrity.
It can be quite fun, yeah.
But is that why you've got them? Because you like that, drawing that attention?
Yeah. It was a way to get myself out there and noticed, and
do you, I mean, let's be honest also, they earn you a lot of money.
I do all right, yeah.
Yeah.
Could you imagine being without them? Then would you now be a completely different person if you have those out?
Obviously, I can't have them forever, so I will reduce eventually. But I don't think I could go back down to a D cup. I think after
It'd be like
being
a leg cup to you now, wouldn't it?
What about
That would be
children? If
too
you were
hard.
to have children in the future?
What's that?
If you were to have children in the future?
I don't think I'd do that with these.
Yeah. So you would reduce them to have children?
Yeah, if that time came, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you haven't gone into the Guinness Book of World Records for the biggest breast because you've never actually officially had them measured, have you? Why is that? Why didn't you go? Because Maxie Mounds, who I read about this morning, this is not something I know off the top of my head, is apparently it's supposed to be the biggest. She's in the Guinness Book of Records. But if you look into the two together, you look bigger than her. So why haven't you gone for the? I mean, look at that. You definitely are. Why haven't you gone for the official recognition?
They haven't called.
Well, they probably will now. And we were saying we had some kind of slight negative comments before, people obviously all talking about you, but Lorraine Neal on Facebook, she said, if Chelsea's happy, that's all that matters. Lauren Priestley on Facebook, I think it's up to her what she does. She's her own person. She's not harming anybody. Good luck to her. Sue Phantom on Facebook. Well, I think she's brilliant. She's created some very happy, smiley faces. She certainly has around here this morning. And Roberta Horton-Dujan on Facebook, each to its own if it makes her happy. So, but, you know,
That's
mixed
really nice.
reactions. I just wanted to let you know the positive ones as well that people have sent in.
Well, it's been a pleasure to have you here. I mean,
Thank you for having me.
you're a lovely person.
Is Chelsea Charms your real name? Is it?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Thank you very much
Well,
indeed
you are
for coming
charming.
in today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Biggest reaction we ever had on Twitter.